It's freezing. Because we're reviewing Cold Pursuit this week on Cinema Gibberish.
Woo.
So Cold Pursuit is a movie that came out earlier this year in February. It battled against the Lego Movie 2, so it didn't do super well in the box office. But this movie's directed by Hans-Peter Moland. He hasn't done a whole lot, except for a movie in 2014 that I think nobody's heard of.
This is a remake of
Is it like Swedish or something?
Norwegian.
Anyway, I'm joined here by Kat and Josh as always. And yes, we are wearing the same clothes as last week if you're wondering. But I promise you, we recorded this a week apart from each other.
Yep,
It's just a really weird coincidence.
Yep.
This movie stars Liam Neeson, Laura Dern, and other people I didn't really find too notable to put in here.
Girl from Shameless.
Never seen Shameless.
Me either, but I know she's in it.
Alright. This movie had a budget of $60 million, which isn't too bad these days in Hollywood. And it made $74.3 million at the box office altogether, which is kind of good. I don't know if it made its money back. I don't know if that counts. But we'll just say, for the sake of it, it did. But yeah, I know you guys have really wanted to review this thing ever since we started the show.
Yeah.
Especially you.
Mm-hmm.
This is like one of your picks you really wanted to do.
Yes.
So now we are. So I watched this movie at like 2 o'clock last night, and now I'm here to talk about it. And I have some good things, some bad things. So I like ending these reviews on high notes. So we're going to start off with the things we didn't like.
Okay.
So Kat, since you're the fan here, I'll go with you.
Okay. I will say that this movie is very racy. There are a lot of stereotypes included in this movie, and I think you really have to take yourself out of that to appreciate the comedy in a lot of the scenes. And there's also a lot of like really graphic comedy. I saw this movie in theaters.
Opening weekend.
Opening weekend.
You just go see this opening theater. Well, what gave you the inclination
We
to
just
go see
like
it?
wanted
We wanted to
watch
see
a movie.
something stupid, and we looked at what was in, and I watched the trailer, and it had Blue Oyster Cult's "Don't Fear the Reaper," and I said, "This is it."
Yep. We went and saw it.
We went,
and it was great. It was a great time, but yeah, I think the comedy can be a bit racy.
Okay, I mean, what parts? What comedy is
okay,
a
there
lot of
are-
the Indian comedy.
I figured the Native American comedy.
And the things
well, no,
with the
and the
Eskimo.
Indian. There are 5 racial groups
Okay, yeah.
that get targeted in one way or another through jokes and stereotypes.
Do you think are you saying because of what the bad guy says about him is racy, or
No, just in
how
general.
they're portrayed?
In
Yeah,
general.
just in general.
Okay.
Things are said about them. Some of the ways they're portrayed, especially like the Native Americans,
And the
it
Eskimo.
can get a little. And the Eskimo, yeah. The comedy is very racy, and not just that, but like there's a lot of raunchy comedy.
Raunchy?
$20 bill.
Oh yeah.
This will be a full spoiler, by the way, when we get there.
What she means by $20 bill is I'm trying to remember the guy's name.
I'll get there in a second.
Okay.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I just think the comedy can be.
Hit or miss.
I want to say, with my full truth here, I do not think this is a good movie, but I love it to death.
Yeah.
It is a bad movie,
It
in
is.
my opinion, but I would recommend it to anyone to watch because of how much fun it is.
Okay.
Because there are some...
In theaters, I can still remember my jaw being dropped sitting there watching this movie.
There's not a lot about it I don't like, because I can pretty much laugh at almost every choice that they make.
Right.
But it just, I will say that, I mean, if you can't find it funny, then this is not a good movie, and you most likely won't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I watched this at 2 o'clock last night. I wasn't looking forward to watching it because, I mean, I think Liam Neeson's an okay actor. I like him. Yeah. I mean, he's awesome in Schindler's List. If you haven't seen that, check that out. It's an amazing movie. Spielberg. But, I mean, he hasn't made a whole lot of recent action movies I've been a fan of. I've seen parts of the first Taken. Had no desire to see the other two because, like, he's just a bad dad. At some point, he's just a bad dad, right?
Yeah.
Deadpool reference. And I swear, like, the plots for the Liam Neeson movies are almost the same every time. Like,
Yeah.
at a point, you have to just realize, don't do anything to Liam Neeson's children.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a basic rule by now. But I was surprised by this movie because it's not a lot of what his basic action movies are.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually kind of like this movie for some of the things it did. I don't think it was spectacular or anything. I think it was just above of what a good action movie should be, or average, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But to get into things I didn't like, I think a lot of the action itself, for being an action movie, I think the action itself was left to be desired. Because they do a lot of cutaways. They don't show. I don't think they ever show really any impact of any punches or anything. And I think Liam Neeson's actually starting to show his age in this movie.
Yes.
Because his
Definitely.
punching does not look real.
He's going gray.
Yeah.
It's
And when
bad.
he's got that like hat on and you don't see any of his hair, he's wrinkled. Love him. Like, I love Qui-Gon Jinn, but
He's old.
yeah, he's
Man's
getting
old.
up there. Also, his like talking is is super gruffled now. It's hard to understand sometimes.
Hunting.
Yeah. What do you guys talk about when you go hunting?
Hunting.
I also think Laura Dern, the lady who plays the actress, is very underused. She's in one of my favorite movies of all time, Jurassic Park, and she's barely in this movie. I mean, she probably didn't even need to be in this movie, considering what the scope of this movie gets to.
Yeah.
I don't think there is enough Liam Neeson for him to be considered the main character, if I'm being honest.
That's fair.
Because a lot of this movie actually has nothing to do with him at points. And a lot of times I just forgot I was watching a Liam Neeson movie, which in some parts is good. And then I think there are some slight pacing issues because the
That's fair.
pacing can be really weird at
Oh,
times.
yeah.
Like one time, like this guy's like screaming in the snow, and all of a sudden there's a guy paragliding. One of his
Or it goes
dudes
from
paragliding.
all the guys playing in the snow and having fun to him just screaming in the snow.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
it goes from that to that, and then they're all cheering their
I was
friend
born to
on.
fly, white boy.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Avalanche.
very weird pacing.
Avalanche.
His name is Avalanche.
Yeah, Avalanche. It's very weird
I
pacing.
thought that was. I really liked that part of it. With, like the names and like the symbol of their. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, I kind of like the. Well, I'll get into that when we get into things I didn't like. And then I think the last thing I have on here that I don't like is the villain is so for me. I think he's a bit over the top for me.
Yep.
And not very realistic and
Yes,
sort
he is.
two-dimensional.
He absolutely is.
I mean, I like his kid, honestly. I like the
Viking.
kid.
Viking.
I like his kid.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, his name's Viking, which doesn't fit him at all. I don't know why his name's Viking. It could have been like Serpent or something.
It's a
Something that
gangster
fits him.
thing. Chris.
Yeah.
It's a gangster
I don't understand why his name's Viking, but it doesn't fit him. All the other names fit everyone else, but
For breakfast, my dad gave me half a grapefruit and
3 lines of
three
Primo
lines
Coke.
of Primo Coke.
Mm.
Breakfast
The
of champions, he called it.
yeah,
He's
not a good dad.
he's very bad dad.
Yeah, but all the gangsters are nice to the kids, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Sneaking snacks and stuff, fantasy football and whatnot. Yeah, that's gonna do it for the things I didn't like about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna throw it to Josh on
Mhm.
what he did like about this movie.
I have so much fun with this movie
Mm-hmm.
because, like, some of the things that you didn't like, I look at differently. Viking is so over the top, but I think that's hilarious because of how over the top it is.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. I really do enjoy the body count in this movie is very high. It's either 28 or 32, I can't remember which. But whenever someone dies, their name pops up with a little symbol,
Mhm.
and it
Yeah.
has their real name and then their nickname.
Yeah, and then the
And-
symbol like either represents what they believe in or something like
Yeah.
that, or where
Like
yeah.
religion or
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like looking at the real names and seeing how that affects their nicknames. Like Andrew Antonio is Andy. Like things like that
didn't
just
see
makes me
that
really
one.
happy.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I've seen this movie so many times.
I believe that. I've only seen it once, so.
It just
I got it on DVD.
we walked out of that theater quoting lines from it immediately.
Yeah.
It's such a dumb, fun throwaway movie
It is.
that I just can really enjoy watching, and I recommend it and show it to people all the time just to
Yeah.
see
Mhm.
their reactions. And the ending, which I will talk about later,
Yeah, I was
even though
gonna
it's
talk
all
about it too. I
spoilers,
was gonna talk about it too.
is my favorite thing in the world.
We
Yeah.
reenact the ending
Yeah,
in the
I
car
did-
all the time.
Yeah, I didn't like. We'll get into it, but I'm very excited to talk about it. Kat.
I love the iconic score. It is something I listen to quite frequently, actually. I just overall, like you said, it's a fun, dumb throwaway movie to just put yourself in. And I think every time I rewatch the movie, I find different things that I can appreciate about it. So I really like that aspect of it. Of like, there are a lot of things that you don't notice the first time that you're always looking for something new.
Like a subplot theory we have.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited to hear about this. But so the things I did like was, again, the music is like surprisingly a standout thing here. Like, I didn't expect, like, you don't go into like this sort of action movie, especially a Liam Neeson movie, to like
To appreciate the score.
right, and the score and music. Like it's a very subtle soundtrack, but it sounds good with this sort of movie.
Yeah.
And I also love the artsiness of this movie. It's not your typical action movie. It's very like more, I want to say calm.
Yeah.
It's very more like strategic. Like it's more dialogue and stuff a lot than it is just killing and stuff. Which there is that, but it is more killing. Once you get past like the first 30 minutes, it isn't a Liam Neeson movie anymore. It's about this gang turf war thing that's going on, and that's interesting. I thought that was interesting. I also love the Fargo influence on this. If you've seen Fargo, there's a lot of Fargo influence in this, and that's okay with me. I love Fargo. It's not nearly as good as Fargo, believe me, but it's there. Especially with the thing. One thing, part of my favorite character is the cop lady. I don't remember her name, but I dug her because she very much is like a modern day take on the lady from Fargo. And then again, I like the story in this. I thought it was very well put together, especially after the whole Liam Neeson kills the guys who kill his son within like the first 20-30 minutes of this movie. And then it's just a turf war that Liam Neeson is sort of in the middle of. So that's very cool to watch. I also really like the cinematography in this movie. I think a lot of the shots in this movie are beautiful considering the setting it's in. It's in what is the setting? Colorado. I mean, I thought this thing was like the Arctic country.
Colorado wouldn't let them film there, so they filmed in Canada.
Yeah, but like the mountainscapes and stuff of this, like a lot of the shots are just beautiful.
I will
I
say
love the way it looks.
The establishing shots are sometimes very long, but I think they all, like you said, they look really good.
I love looking at them. This is an establishing shot. Then music. I mean, that's a lot of what I like about this movie. Like I surprisingly like this movie. So I mean, what you guys want to talk about spoilers? Heavy spoilers, like the ending, or?
Let's see what I have set up.
Actually, I do have a question though about what's this Vikings symbol? Because I didn't understand it. Like obviously it was a peace symbol.
It was a peace symbol?
He was the only one. He had the different symbol for everybody. His like when everyone had either like a cross or a Jewish.
Yeah, he didn't have a religion.
So it was just a peace symbol.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it. I didn't know if he was like a hippie or something, undercover hippie or. Regardless, that was my quick question. Anyway, anything you guys want to add?
Have you ever heard of Stockholm Syndrome?
Yeah.
Great.
I had to look that up. I had to look at because I've heard of Stockholm
line.
Syndrome, but like.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
I also, not that you're supposed to, but I laughed out loud in the theater when he opens his wife's card and it's just blank.
Yeah. When she leaves him and she leaves a card, he opens it up and there's nothing in there.
I didn't see that. I don't remember that. Again, I watched it late at night, but I don't remember that.
Yep.
Viking's brother, or not Viking's brother, Liam Neeson's brother, is a very nice addition.
Absolutely.
Where we get one of our racist tones
Wingman.
With
she sucks.
His
I
wife.
hate her.
Yes.
She
I do
spit
not
on
like
his
her.
grave and walked into the mountains
He
and never
did.
came
He
back.
was so nice to her.
Yeah.
Screw her. I don't
Liam
know her name.
Neeson's character is smart enough to notice off a shotgun, which I think is interesting.
That's a sniper that I saw though.
Okay, well, he sawed off the gun.
Now it's a shotgun.
Anyway.
Sorry, I didn't mean.
Viking and Mustang, they're in the background.
Mustang and the gay plot.
Yeah, it's sort of just out of
Absolutely
nowhere.
A+.
It comes in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has a reason because then at the end,
because he
knows he calls the Native American gang.
Yeah.
He calls White Bull's gang, and it's like, yeah, they're
We're
going
gonna be
there.
here.
I liked him. Him. He had the whole fantasy football thing.
He was
super
one of my
nice as a
favorite
kid.
characters, hands down.
He was nice.
And Viking, I think
in this shot, Viking kills his lover.
Yeah. Which came out of nowhere. Like, I sort of saw it coming, like, once
nowhere.
he said, like, we can't just apologize to him. I was like, is he really just gonna shoot him?
In this scene, there's a specific shot that I'm still mad about to this day. It is one of the only things I will be mad about in this movie. And it is that Mustang's boyfriend and, like, two other Vikings gangsters are looking at a phone and laughing at something, and then they look up at Viking because he starts talking, and we never see what they were laughing at, and I want to know.
All right.
The Eskimo is another thing that happens in this movie.
Comes in and out. Yeah.
Did you step off the rug?
Yeah.
It's
Again,
just-
and they don't show his death. They don't show a lot of death. They just sort of insinuate it.
We do get to see Liam Neeson chuck 3 people off into the gorge.
We do.
Yes, we do.
Wrapped in chicken wire.
Chicken wire. That's what it was.
But
Where'd you learn to do that? I read it in a crime novel.
But his brother, back to that actually, the fact that he kind of had the gang ties with some nice backstory.
Yeah.
And that apparently so did their dad. Which was interesting. So there was some story things in there that went a little deep, not too deep,
Yeah.
but enough where I could be intrigued by what was happening.
Yeah.
His brother's death, I think, to me was really noble.
It was such a
really
I
cool.
saluted my TV as
Exactly.
soon as that happened. I was like, man, good for you, man.
Like,
Jeez.
he really-
you baller, dude.
It was really cool.
I forgot about him, but him and the cop lady are like the best characters in this movie by
Absolutely.
far.
Oh, the
The,
$20 bill
Yeah,
shot.
there we go.
I'll get into that.
Oh.
Go ahead.
The Indians, their whole gang, I like a lot of them are very likable. Just
Yeah,
like
very much.
Vikings crew is very likable.
Yeah.
And I sympathize a lot.
Which again is very surprising. Like I want to say, this movie is much smarter than I took it for granted. Like this is very much not just a generic action movie like Taken 1, 2, or 3 or Non-Stop or any one of those Liam Neeson movies.
Yeah.
This one is surprisingly smarter than that.
Oh, and I really sympathize with White Bull, the head of the Native American gang, because of his son.
Yeah.
And that was really all Vikings' idiocy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
I think White Bull is a lot more likable.
The Viking for sure.
I'm just going to mention that if you watch this movie, this is specifically from a moment that we refer to as the $20 bill scene.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's something.
Steve freaking Jobs.
Yeah, it's Steve freaking Jobs, good man. I'm not sure that is our channel content.
It is not at all.
But
Viewer discretion.
you can
It
feel
is
free.
Also, in a warning on IMDb.
PG-13.
We read that before we went into the movie on opening weekend.
And it still couldn't have prepared me
No.
for what happened.
No.
But yeah, definitely, that's something to watch out for.
Oh, you don't want to say what happens?
If you do this movie, no.
Okay, alright, fair enough.
It's
So I guess, is there anything else before you want to talk about the ending?
Um,
Not death yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. So there's the big shootout at the end with the 2 gangs, which is where my theory comes into place. Because the whole time, the older cop, who is talking to the young woman cop, is telling her you don't have to worry. You have to have a much cooler head if you're going to be a cop in Kehoe when dealing with drugs. They show up to that scene, and the old cop walks to Viking's car as he's dying. And Viking specifically tells him to give a message to Aya, which is his wife's name. Which means that most likely the Kehoe police are paid off about drug activity.
Maybe.
Mhm.
Probably, it's very possible. I was also that I just remembered the thing that I wanted to mention earlier about the thing I didn't like. I was not satisfied with Viking's death. I wanted him to just get old man punched by Liam Neeson or something, or
yeah.
what was his name, White Bull or something.
Yeah.
White Bull.
But he
White Bull,
leaves
yeah.
and put the tree through his car.
Yeah, put a tree through his car and then he just died, or he was shot by
Yeah.
White Bull, right?
Yeah.
He
But-
put the tree through the car, and then he couldn't move the car, so White Bull was like,
Yeah. I would have rather have him die by like combat or something, but I wasn't satisfied with it. But
So then Liam Neeson leaves on his snowplow.
Yeah.
The little boy gets into another snowplow and
he
it
just drives away. No
on
one
it.
stops him.
And
little
Lady
boy had a
Cop
snowplow on the way to
Kehoe.
Kehoe.
Yeah.
Probably
She
got
could have
his
stopped
mom.
him, but didn't. So then Liam Neeson is driving the plow, and White Bull gets in because he grabbed onto the side, and he points a gun at him. And Liam Neeson stops. At the point we see at the beginning of the movie where he moves the caution sign because he's gonna plow.
They're doing his job.
And White Bull's like, "What are you doing?" He goes,
My
"Doing my job." So then they just start driving through, and White Bull falls asleep, and he puts the gun on the dash, and they're just being buddy. The score is great. You see Avalanche from earlier.
Yeah, from like a day ago, right?
He's hang
Yes.
gliding down. Here is the
He's
snow
been hang gliding
plow.
for 24 hours.
Yeah, This just came out of nowhere. I swear to God.
And
like,
there are
Avalanches
cars
are not-
behind them.
I thought Avalanche in that final battle. I didn't look at through all the names. I was like, oh, Avalanche is probably in there. And then there he is, still hand gliding.
And we didn't know his name yet, and they said Avalanche. And the movie ends.
Yep.
And it's my favorite movie ending. It's just beautiful.
And that ends Cold Pursuit.
Yes, it
So
does.
now that we've gone through a lot of that, I want to ask, what do you guys rate this?
I would give it a solid C in theaters. It is one of my favorite movies to just watch. I got it on DVD, and all the time I'll just put it in like as background noise to watch it and see new things in it. It's overall one of my top movies of the. It came out last year.
No, it came out this
It
year.
came out this year,
Came
really.
out in February.
And then one of my top movies of the year, definitely.
What about you, Josh?
I'm gonna give it a see it opening weekend, honestly, because again, this movie, I love it so much. In my top 10 best of the year, this is currently number 2 on my list, because of the stupid impact that it has on me and how much fun I have watching it.
Okay. Well, for me, I think this movie is a good buy it on Blu-ray. And I say that because I think a red box you could get away with just seeing it once, but if you buy this on Blu-ray, it's kind of like I think this is a movie you can watch multiple times and have a good time with, and
it's something that's
apparently notice new things every time.
And it's something that's still so silly that you could be like with friends and be like, hey, you can watch this.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's smarter than you would think it is. I think it's one of Liam Neeson's better action movies of the past decade.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say. But yeah, I mean, those are pretty much wraps up my final thoughts on this thing. Anything else you want to add before I close out? Except for, I have to ask Josh, where can you find us?
Oh boy. Right here, if you're watching this, actually, we do reviews here every single Wednesday. We also do a podcast that is pretty much every Monday. The links to that are in the description below. And we are on social media at JD Studios 208 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and Snapchat on occasion.
Nice, I love it. So with all that blurry, cold stuff out of the way, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.